So the evil I see to Mikshal is a lav. The literal translation is in front of a blind person, you can't put a stumbling block. Now the Gemara in Avodah Zarah says the lav of the evil I see to Mikshal is besides the fact that you can't, in front of a blind person, or a person gives somebody a bad eitzah, there's also the same halacha by making somebody else do an avera. And the Gemara says the lav of the evil that's hit the mikshal is talking about a case with shrei avri dinar, meaning if someone is sitting on one side of the river, there's an issur on the other side of the river, he cannot get to it, and you give it to him, or you throw it to him, you get it to him, and he eats it, or whatever the issur was, then there's an issur of the evil that's hit the mikshal because you are making him do, you're helping him do the avera. That's what the Gemara says. But if it's on the same side of the river,
like without you, he couldn't do that.
Without you, he couldn't do it. That's Trey Avri Dinara. Without you, could not have done the Avera. You helped him do the Avera. That's the Fe'ivra that's it, the Mikshal. But if let's say you're on the same side of the river, the Gemara says, Bechad Avri Dinara, one side of the river you are, and he could get it himself, but you give it to him, you help him out, and there is no lav of the Fe'ivra that's it, the Mikshal. That's what the Gemara in the Avodah Zarah says. And there's an obvious question. In this week's parsha, a few psukim later it says, now that I hate your friend, you should be machiach him. That means if you see him doing something wrong, you should rebuke him. You should tell him he's doing something wrong. So how could the Gemara say that if you do it b'chad avri denara on one side of the river, you're sitting together, and he can get it himself, you're allowed to give it to him. There's no issur of evil that's hit the mikshal. But if it's on two sides of the river, then there's an issur. On the same side of the river, you're right, you don't have the evil that's hit the mikshal, you have another problem. That's that, you shouldn't be able to do it. Because you have to stop him from doing an avera. And you see him doing an avera, so you're allowed to help him out, you're allowed to give it to him because he's getting it himself. What happened to So you can say the Gemara only means to be speaking about the law of Fahiver. But the Gemara says over there that you're allowed to do it. If it's Chat Avri Dinara, you're allowed to give it to him. How could it be you're allowed to give it to him? What happened to What happened to that mitzvah say that you're not allowed to give it to him because that's it.
If you did give it to him, and you did the Avera, then you still have the mitzvah of Recheach Techiach.
It's too late already. He ate it.
You ate it.
It's gone.
Right.
You're creating a second mitzvah for yourself.
Before he does it?
Techacha is if you see someone doing an avera, you have to stop him.
To avoid it.
To avoid the avera.
Prevent him doing it.
No, but let's say you give him the Isser,
Yeah.
he's going to, then he takes, he's going to, then you tell him, no. Wouldn't you still be doing the mitzvah?
Yeah, but
you've given it to him, and then you can still do the mitzvah.
You could still, yeah.
But things in my mind aren't mutually exclusive.
Right, but when you were helping him out, how are you allowed to help him out? That you have to stop him from doing an avera. Hachech techech means stop him from doing an avera. So you're right, I can stop him at a later moment.
Yeah.
But by giving it to him, you're doing an act which is against the hachech techiach. The opposite of hachech techiach. How can you do that?
You're complicit with his.
Also, he thinks you're nuts.
Changed your mind.
You gave me the cheeseburger and told me not to eat it.
Get the cheeseburger now. Don't eat the cheeseburger.
Don't eat it, yeah.
He said, you probably don't know what bracha you're going to make on this cheeseburger.
Yeah. Yeah, so you help him out with the brocha and then...
So the truth is, the mitzvah of Chech Techech Misecha is a lot of restrictions. Meaning, first of all, the mitzvah of Techacha, Chech Techech Misecha, the first thing is only if the person is going to accept it. That's A. If you know you're going to go ahead and be mechich somebody, and he's not going to accept it, then there's no mitzvah of Chech Techech Misecha.
It's worse.
It's worse. Maybe worse. Maybe worse. So first of all, and there's I brought down that the Baruch must say it. Amisacha means it has to be a friend. You try to give someone the chacha and he's not your friend, he's not going to listen to you. It has to be somebody who wants to accept it. So that's a very easy answer to this Gemara. You're sitting you're sitting with somebody who's not interested in what you have to say. Alright, let's say he's a non-religious Jew, and he's doing his avarice, he's not interested in accepting from anybody, and he's going to continue eating his treifus. And you're sitting next to him, and he wants you to pass him something that's treif. So Acharei Mot-Kedoshim won't say you're not allowed to pass it to him. Because if you're going to say, no, you can't have it, he's not going to listen to you anyway. So if he's not going to listen to you anyway, Kashem Shem Mitzvah Loi Medavar HaNishma, Kach Mitzvah Shaloi Loi Medavar She'ein HaNishma. So if you're in a grocery store, and it happens often, the friar person's in the grocery store, and he can't reach something, or he wants to help him out, to pass him something, and that thing you're passing him is treif. He says, you just pass me that thing, are you allowed to pass it to him? So, you're allowed to pass them. Because you're going to tell him, no, you're not allowed to eat that. He's going to say, leave me alone. No, he's not going to, unless it's a person who you think will accept it from you. But usually, if the guy is going shopping and he's reaching out for non-kosher products, you're going to try to stop him, he's not going to listen to you. So if he asks you to help him out, or even to help him bring it to his car, whatever it is, any help to help the person with non-kosher food, Acharei Mot-Kedoshim is not going to say, you have to tell him, don't eat it and stay away from him. Because he's not going to listen to you anyway. What's the problem? So there it depends. If it's betray avid in Nahara, then you're not allowed to do it. If you can't get it without you, then you're not allowed to do it. If you could get it without you, just helping him out, then there's no issa of the Fneiva L'Sita Michshol. That's what the Gemara says. It's important to note that the Rishonim say is no issa deraisa of the Fneiva L'Sita Michshol. An issa derabbanan there is. So that means if you are shopping and there is a non-religious Jew who asks you to help him out with something and you know it's non-kosher, there may be an issa derabbanan to help him out of the Fneiva L'Sita Michshol. So then you have to weigh your options. It could be Tzachal Hashem, helping him out. Okay, these questions will have to go into each scenario separately. But if you could get out of it and not help him with something that's non-kosher, even though it's Bechat Iver Dinar, it's one side he could do without you, still, an Issa D'Rabbanan there still is for the Fneiva L'Sita Michshol.
But isn't this scenario that you're describing, it has a lot of pitfalls. For instance, there's elements of Marasai. If you help him out with it, and he knows you're from a Jew, does he then come to the conclusion that, oh, this is probably okay? Because the guy didn't say anything to me. He didn't react at all.
So let's take the next step. It's a very good question. Let's take the next step. It says, L'Fe'iver L'Sita Michshol. The literal translation means, in front of a blind person, don't put a stumbling block.
Right.
So what does that mean? You can go with a person who doesn't know it's usher to eat something, and you give it to him, and he eats it. So that's the Fneiva. Even means a blind person who doesn't know, and you're giving it to him, he doesn't know, you're being machshel him. How about if the person does know? He knows what he's doing is usher. He knows. He knows he's eating non-kosher food. He doesn't care about it. Are you allowed to go give it to him?
I'll give you a better example. In Sobe, someone asks you, I need crackers, just Nabisco crackers, and you know the person is Jewish, and the stuff, Nabisco is not kosher.
Right.
So I usually tell them, I know where it is, but I tell them, listen, you have to ask one of the people, because I know it's not kosher. That's the answer you give. It's not kosher, but it's there.
That's right. It's a very...
The answer you gave him, I didn't hear.
It's a typical example of they have a chech to chich samisecho, they have neiver.
It's not kosher, you have to find out which aisle it is.
And you're going to burn it.
It's just a cracker.
And by the way,
Rabbi, how do we know that Lifnei Iver doesn't mean literally Lifnei Iver?
The Gemara learns it out. Yeah. That doesn't mean, there's two parts to it. One Lifnei Iver means a blind person, and one means even a machshel and a veru. One of our desires speaks about it. Yeah.
Which means you can stick something in front of a blind person, literally, and you won't be...
No, you can't. It means both.
You get based on it both.
Yeah. It means both. Yes.
You got to be careful.
Yes. Not just the blind person. Even.
I mean, there's other lavim that come into play.
Yeah.
Not that specific.
No, but even if you give somebody a wrong eitzah.
But that's different. Eitzah and a physical impediment to somebody
okay.
who can't see.
Right. So, but what's the issue of Fneiva L'Sita Michshol? The literal translation means in front of a blind person. Let's say a person is not blind. He sees where he's going, and you want to put something in front of him, and he wants to walk. He doesn't care. Is there an issue to do that? Is the first stumbling block in front of a person who could see, and he may trip over it? Are you allowed to do that? He decides he's going to walk there. He might put ice in front of a person, and he sees it. He decides he's walking there anyway. It's not for evil that's hit the mikshel. He knows what he's doing. So why, if someone knows he's eating treifus, someone knows he's doing an aveira, so what's the for evil that's hit the mikshel? He's amazed. On a shoygig, we know. If you're doing something b'shoygig and you're giving him something, he doesn't know it's aser, and you're giving him something that's aser, so there we know, you're over for evil that's hit the mikshel because he doesn't know it's aser and you're giving it to him anyway. But if he knows it's aser, he's amazed, he's doing it anyway, so who says I can't give it to him? Where does the Fa'iver come into such a case where he's amazed?
First of all, you're making an assumption you know what's in his mind.
Let's say you know. So a person you know he knows that it's treif. The person you have a suffering we'll get to soon.
You know
the person who's not sure, you're not sure if he knows if it's us or not. He's not religious. He's not sure what's kosher, what's not kosher. That we'll get to soon. But let's say a person you know for sure he knows he's eating treifus.
So why would you give it to him? Why would you?
I'm helping him out.
Could you get it in
At the table,
He wants to eat it, and I want to pass
You're
it.
not helping his neshama.
You're right, but that is the favor to the mikshel.
But is that your product?
Maybe you can call it something else. You shouldn't do it.
Okay, maybe you shouldn't do for other reasons. But is there an isla from the evil that says the mikshel? And the Gemara does say so. The Gemara's case of the evil said the mikshel is a case where you know the person is going to be over the avodah zarah. You know he's using avodah zarah. You let sell him an animal to a shechter for avodah zarah. So Gemara says you can't. But the evil is said the mikshel. Now that case, he knows he's not allowed to shechter animal for avodah zarah. He's amazed. And still the Gemara calls it the evil is said the mikshel. Why is that?
But you're part of the process in that description.
Maska part of the process, but what's that for evil? That's the question. Is that a shaking? The literal translation of the evil I sit in mikshel means, in front of a blind person, don't put a stumbling block. If he's not a blind person, he knows what he's doing. How does that play with the evil I sit in mikshel? That a question?
If you're digging a pit, you see someone in front of you digging a pit, and if you fall in, it's a 5-foot, 10-foot drop. It's gonna break your leg. And he's like, I don't care. I want to walk right into that pit.
That's his problem.
So you should stop him from doing so. No,
that's not the fever. Maybe you want to help him out. That's not the fever. Fever means in front of a blind person. Don't do that. He's not a blind person. And the Rishonim are bothered by this question. The Minchas Chinuch, the Chinuch, in the mitzvah of the evil I said the Mikshel, he throws in a few words, and the Stipler, the Kilis Yaakov, says it's coming to answer this question. What does he say? He says, "V'zeh halav, the lav of the evil asita mikshal, is kaidol kamoikein misha yazar over avera." First, he says it's going on a regular for even a blind person, literally. Don't put a stumbling block literally in front of a blind person. It also includes to help somebody to do an avera. Why? So listen to the words of the chinuch. Shu mevi oisai sheyispata bezula zeh. He brings him to be convinced. Besides this, lavar omim acherim oid, to go other times and also to do averis. Why is he saying that for? If the evil asita mikshel means in front of a blind person, don't put a stumbling block. So he's throwing in there. You know why? You know what the isla favor is? That if you do it, so other times he'll also continue doing this avera, because he sees you helping him out.
Yeah, because you've given it a hechsher.
So says the Stipler, you know what the chinuch is bothered by? If the person sees and he knows he's doing something wrong, so where's the favor? It's not the favor. He knows he's doing wrong. Says the chinuch, the way the Stipler explains it, the favor is if he sees that you're giving it to him, he may think, oh, it's not so bad. It's okay. The next time when he does it again, now he's already a shogig. He thinks it's okay. And there you're being over on the favor. The second time, the first time he knows he's doing something wrong, and so then it's not
even there the next time.
You're not even there the next time. You're not even there the next time.
You gave him permission.
So you gave him a shush. Like you gave him a shush.
You gave him a shush. So the fact that he's continuing to do it because of you, that's the evil I said to Mechshel. And by that time already, he's an evil.
What makes him a shogeg though? Because you're not there to stop him. So.
No, because he thinks the fact that you give it to him one time, he thinks it's okay. So the next time he's doing it, right? He's mutter. The next time he's doing it because of you. So later on,
It's like if I would have known for Shabbos to your house.
So now it's on you.
that was on you.
Yeah.
So give him like a half. It's not so bad.
Here's another issue: is that
That's why I don't go shopping.
a person
That's why I don't go shopping.
We have too many issues.
Exactly.
a person rarely understands what the consequence of their behavior is on a level that we learn it here. You know, okay, I ate bacon, it's the wrong thing to do. Is it a concept of what all that entails, the Misham and all those things? People don't give that a lot of thought.
That's true.
You know, the people who are not religious, by definition, they're not giving that a lot of thought.
But if they see that you're
So what I'm saying is that you're making an assumption, or we're making an assumption here, that when the person does it and feels it's not wrong, that they fully understand the consequences on all levels of what their behavior is. They don't.
they don't. Even if they don't,
Right?
but if you,
And you as a religious person, facilitating it,
right? Even if
by
you
telling
can,
them that it's okay.
right? Even if he knows maybe something's wrong with it, I think it's not so bad because you helped him out. So the next time, that level of shegeg is because of you.
Right.
That level of iver that he doesn't know how bad it is because of you. So the Chinuch throws in a few words, and the disciple says what he means to say is, why is every lifnei iver? He knows what he's doing is amazing, because of you in the future is going to continue doing it. That is called a lifnei iver. But then already he's an iver. He doesn't know what he's doing. He thinks it's okay. That's why it's a problem. The Rambam, Pirush Mishnayos, says a similar thing, but the Rambam says even the first time it's a problem. Why? What's the lifnei iver? Rotzeloimer. Misha sagra einav hatayva, v'yetzer hara al tazoresa. Somebody was closed in front of him, the taivas, because he doesn't know what's wrong, what's right, and he has the yetzer hara. He is an iver. He may know what he's doing wrong. He may know he's eating something not wrong, but why is it called an iver? Because he can't control himself, and he has the taivas to do an isser or yetzer hara to do an isser. That's why it's called an iver. Al Tazar Oyser Lahisiv Be'irvainoi, with his blindness, V'Saisiv La'achika Minayesher, with Neize Osa Lazar Oyver Avera. There is somebody who knows he's doing something wrong, but he doesn't care. But you helping him out, that is called blindness. The fact that he doesn't care about what he's doing wrong, that itself is called blindness. So even though he's amazing, he knows he's doing an Avera.
Blind to the truth.
He's blind to the truth, right. That's how the Rambam learns it. So we have here, Lifnei doesn't always mean a blind person. It can mean he doesn't know what he's doing wrong, how bad it is what he's doing wrong, and that's Lifnei. You're helping him out to continue doing what he's doing wrong. So the question we had before, you have a friar person in the grocery store, and he asks you if you could give him something that's not kosher. Now he may not know to what extent it's not kosher, but just by you handing it to him and saying, yeah, here it is, he may think, oh, it's not so bad, because if he's giving it to me, he probably agrees that it's okay. That could be lifnei iver. Even though he's amazed, he knows what he's doing is wrong. But if you in any way saying what he's doing is okay, then the next time he won't feel so bad doing it. That could be lifnei iver. So maybe you should, I don't mind giving it to you, but you should know it's not kosher.
But that would you could use that logic to really almost any level of knowledge. Let's you had a yeshiva person or something that he really learned,
right.
and then left
right.
cold. You could still say that he's really blind to the truth.
Correct.
Still
Correct. You can, he's still, especially according to the Rambam.
Yeah, that's why not the course has to be well educated.
Especially according to the Rambam. According to him, he is called an iver because, as it says, his yetzer hara and his taivas make him blind, and he can't see the truth.
Anything.
He's called an
The guy
iver.
doesn't learn. The guy doesn't learn anything.
Anything. Right.
Maybe a very guy doesn't.
Yeah.
Everything.
That's called an iver. That's what the Rambam tells us called an iver. Now this is all a lifnei iver of giving somebody something that's also to eat, or let's say chilul Shabbos. Here's also a perfect example. You invite somebody to your house for Shabbos, and he's not a religious Jew, and you know he's going to drive to your house on Shabbos. Is that lifnei iver or not? You invite.
Chunks which rabbi?
According to Rambam, yeah, absolutely. But you're saying, especially a Shabbos lunch, not Friday night dinner. Because Friday night dinner, you can say, okay, he'll drive beforehand, he'll get to before Shabbos. What he does afterwards is his own business. But you invite him specifically on lunch, know he's going to drive. It's like you're saying, I know you're going to drive here, so it's okay. Come for lunch anyway.
So my question is, so according to the Rambam, that's called a Iver, because even though he knows what he's doing wrong, it's called a Iver. But the question is, that called Shrei Arvei Dinara or Chad Arvei Dinara? This person drives anyway on Shabbos. So some person might say, you invite someone to the house on Shabbos, this person drives anyway. So maybe it's not called a Iver. So he'll drive to you, he'll drive someplace else. Where does it come with Iver? So the Chofetz Chaim has a very interesting thing. It says people are speaking. He brings down the Gemara, the famous Chofetz Chaim. It speaks about if you don't even speak good about people in front of people who don't like him so much, because somebody is going to end up saying bad about that person. That's why you shouldn't speak good about people even in public, because someone may throw in a bad line about the person. Yeah, but I know he's this, but he's
such a good guy.
That's why you shouldn't do it. So the question is, what happened to Lifnei Iver over there? Is there a din Lifnei Iver? You're speaking good about somebody, and you're making the person who hears the good that bothers him to say bad about that person. Is that case called Lifnei Iver or not? So you're not giving him anything. You're not giving him any tray for the food. You're not giving him something to do an Avera with, but you're causing him to do an Avera. Is causing somebody to do an Avera called Lifnei Iver or not?
You're giving somebody the opportunity. So whether you're giving them something physical or something, the ability, you are empowering them to do an Avera.
So is that called Lifnei Iver? So the Chofetz Chaim brings a raya from a Gemara. The Gemara says that a father should not hit an older child because he'll hit back.
And that would be double Avera.
So if the father hits an older child, and what does the Gemara say? Why not? What's wrong if he hits back? The father is being over on Lifnei Iver. So the father is not giving the child something wrong to eat. He's just causing him to hit him back, or to yell back at him, whatever it is, and that's going to be an Avera. That's called Lifnei Iver.
Or another case would be if you tell your kid to do something, and you know the kid won't do it.
He won't listen.
Him not listening, he's not.
He's over on Lifnei Iver. We all have that, but then we won't tell kids anything.
Yeah, then you would never.
Sometimes you know a kid will not do it. You know that. You still ask.
You still have to teach.
You still this is chinuch.
Here's the line, Mendel. You take the garbage out, otherwise I'll take you out. That's it.
Yeah.
You know
Exactly.
So you have to know
I thought about that, and I felt bad because I know the kid wouldn't do it, and I was, they didn't have air because I asked them. They didn't.
You have to. So the first one's a cotton. If it's a gadol, you have bigger issues.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah.
You have to know what you're doing.
That's right. Tell the it's not so bad.
So everything could be.
So everything will be right. So if you're in shul and there's a guy and you sit in his seat, and you know when you sit in his seat he's going to get upset at you and he's going to yell and scream, you may be able to Iver.
Yeah.
According to this Chofetz Chaim, that he says that by causing somebody to do an Avera, you're not giving him an Avera. You're causing him to do an Avera, so then a lot of times you'll be able to Iver.
But there has to be a line of reasonable behavior. I mean,
that could be true. That could be true. There definitely is a line.
Say, Rebbe Baruch gave a good class. Now, am I at that point setting something up where somebody should say to me, "No, it wasn't a good class"? I'm expressing something that I genuinely believe in.
There's no other side.
I'll keep it in mind.
See, now you're setting us all up to.
So the Chofetz Chaim does make a difference. He says.
We'll continue this conversation later.
But the Chofetz Chaim does draw a line, and he does say that you can never speak about anybody good. You could. He says, but if you know that there's somebody there that he's going to get upset about it, then you can't. He speaks about exactly where the line is. Where the line is when when you get somebody angry, I have to be on eggshells my whole life because I may be able to say even situation. You don't have to do that. It has to be a direct thing. When you hit your kid, he's going to hit you right back. It has to be a direct thing. If it's not a direct thing, That means it's a suffix. Maybe yeah, maybe not. Right. There is no lifnei iver. It has to be that you're definitely causing him to do something bad, not indirect. Now, getting back to this case of Shabbos, you invite somebody for Shabbos, and he's going to drive. So that's why it depends. If the person is far away, and you know for sure he's going to drive to the house, no other way of getting to the house besides driving, there it could be lifnei iver because you're causing him to do an avera to drive to the house on Shabbos. But if it's the person lives close and he could walk and he could drive, so according to his Chafetz Chaim, maybe he'll walk. If it's within 10 minutes he could walk, then it's fine. If it's freezing cold outside, you know for sure he's not going to drive, then you get back to maybe it is lifnei iver sitting mikshel. But if it's walkable and the person could walk, according to his Chafetz Chaim, it's not lifnei iver because he could walk if he wants. He could walk if he wants.
Because it's possible for him to walk, or
because you're not
walk.
making a direct thing for him that he has to be over an avera.
But you know his normal behavior is to drive.
So that's something else. You have to know that you have to ask Rabbi every case differently.
Right.
If you know,
if a guy lives a 10-minute walk away from you, but you know that he doesn't hold the Shabbos as significant, and
he'll definitely drive.
You know, that's what he does.
He's going to drive the next day anyways, too.
Yeah, so the question is...
tonight is going to drive to shul in the morning.
Right, but that's tomorrow.
Maybe he's sensitive to you. He may understand.
I have a guy like that, and he's sensitive to me. He knows it's important to me.
Right, so he walks.
No, but that's because he knows it's important to you, right? Okay. So somehow you've expressed it. If you come into my house to this meal, it's important to me that you don't drive, right? You've expressed that in some way too.
First time, no. The second time is easy.
In this situation, you have to ask. Every case is different because there are a lot of persons that will say that this person tonight, he's driving anyway. I know he's going to drive either to go out to eat or he'll go to eat streifus anyway. So maybe it's better I should invite him to me. And therefore, at least he'll drive to me and eat kosher and I'll see what Shabbos is all about.
He won't be driving more than that.
Huh?
He won't be driving more.
He'll be driving more than that, right?
No, that Shito says that one night can make a big difference.
Right, so
switch on.
Right, so that's why I'm saying you have to ask. You have to ask every case differently. I'm not coming into Paskin any shilas.
But you've told him that your company in my house is more important than the
driving a Shabbos. Right, so therefore I'm saying that's what I'm saying. I can't give a cloud. You have to know it's possible to be over lifnei iver when you invite somebody over to eat and he's going to drive his car. There is lifnei iver. You're right, there are some times that it's okay anyway. If he could walk, or if he knows he's going someplace else, every situation will be different.
There's all kinds of, let's say he comes up, he won't make the bracha, he's not going to bench. You have to worry about that.
Right, so that's a shayla. If you're not giving a fried person or something to eat, it's not making a bracha. And you'll hand over a fried person something to eat, and you know it's not going to make a bracha.
Especially bread.
So that could be lifnei iver.
It could be, or it is.
Yeah, it is lifnei iver.
There you go.
If you have a fried guy, you're giving him something to eat, he's not making a bracha. It's lifnei iver.
You can't read, how are you going to bench?
It's not.
He's not going to bench either.
He's not going to bench either, yeah.
It's not over dinar. It's not two sides of the...
So, but Issa de Rabbanan there is.
Oh, okay.
Even Chad over dinar is an Issa de Rabbanan there is. So it could be if the guy comes to the house, and sometimes Mishum Eva will be Mekel. So the guy comes to the house, a five person, and if you don't give him anything to eat, he's going to get upset. So Mishum Eva, there are certain times, there are certain coolers.
Come for dinner.
Give him food.
No food. There's another very interesting case of lifnei iver. There's a case of lifnei iver that, not talking about non-religious Jews, or religious Jews. And I'm an Ashkenazi. I invited him to my house as Sephardi. Now Sephardim have different halachas with shechita, what's kosher meat, what's not kosher meat, and we have Ashkenazim have also their halachas. Now Sephardim won't eat our meat because they know it's not Beis Yosef. It's not Glad Beis Yosef. So I have a Sephardi coming over to my house, and I serve him my meat that's I know according to his hechsher is no good. Am I allowed to do that? Am I allowed to go ahead and give him food that I know according to him is not kosher? Is that lifnei iver? Let's hit the mikshah.
No, but you could tell him. You give him a
without telling him.
If you don't say anything.
Without telling him. Without telling him. I'm saying without telling him.
He thinks it's not kosher?
But wait a
not
second.
That kosher. According to him, that's not kosher. For me, it's kosher.
It's kosher.
For me, it's
For
kosher.
him, it's not kosher.
Yeah, it's just not.
No, Sephardim won't eat it. Sephardim don't eat our shechita. I'll give you another example, a very easier example. Some people are makbel on Chodesh. They won't eat Chodesh.
Chol Yisrael.
Or Chol Yisrael. all these type of things. Yeah, all these type of things. If someone's makbid on Chodesh, or Gebrach, that's right.
Any more suggestions?
So if someone's makbid on Chodesh, and it comes over to my house to eat, he's makbid to eat only Yashan, right? Not makbid on Chodesh. He's makbid to eat only Yashan. And it comes to my house to eat, and I'm not makbid to eat only Yashan. I have Chodesh in my house. I know this person is makbid only to eat Yashan.
But that's
am I allowed to serve him? He doesn't know.
But he doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
Ask.
Yes.
So does he have to ask?
Absolutely.
But he assumes
You're a
that
fruit guy, I'm a
since you
fruit-
know him, you're going to give him the kind of food that he
But who
eats.
says I know that he's makbid on
No,
Chodesh?
you don't know. That's what you ask.
So
When he goes,
why wouldn't he ask? Why wouldn't he ask?
if he's a from person, he asks.
Am I
If
with
he's
a
not,
favor?
No, you're not.
So there's a Gemara in Sukkah.
Impossible.
So let's
Because you said from
It's
this is
your
all from
problem.
people. So
All
the guy
from
should-
people.
The guy should not ask.
All
Can
from
I-
people.
What is this? Can I eat it?
so it's a comfort on the person to ask.
If you go
or
to
is it
someone's
comfort
house,
me
you
to
don't
tell
know
him?
if he's in Chalav Yisrael or not. You just don't see him eat.
Because you know that
Ask,
could be
is
an
this
issue.
Chalav Yisrael? No?
I'm coming to a
Okay, I
from
can
Yid's
have it.
house. I know the phrase is not going to be trade.
It's a normal
But I don't know whether it's
thing. Gebrach,
according
you
to
go to-
my...
That's what
Understand,
you need
understand.
to eat someone's house on Pesach.
You have to
The
ask.
person that holds the
unless you're sensitive enough, you know that you're getting
it's-
guests over.
You
and
keep
the
certain
guy-
things. You
so now
ask
you'll
before you
supply
put
it. You'll
anything
say,
else.
by the
It's your
way,
obligation
this is
to
extra
ask.
safe, so you can eat
Go over
this.
someone's house
Right.
for Shabbos.
But let's say I don't know if he's makbid on Chodesh or
They
Yashan.
ask you, do you have any allergies?
So you
Do
said
have
it.
this,
This
do
is...
you have that?
So I have to. Every person that comes to my house, I have to tell him, or the person who's coming to
No,
me.
the one who has the chumras has to ask.
He has to
Yeah,
ask.
he has that.
I eat Chalav Yisrael, so I come to
Okay.
your house to ask. Is
So I'll tell you Gemara. The Gemara in Sukkah, famous Gemara in Sukkah. So Machlokes in the Gemara in Sukkah. If you have schach within hanging down lower than 4 tefachim from the schach, if you have decorations, I mean, hanging down from the Sukkah lower than 4 tefachim, it's Machlokes in the Gemara if it's kosher or not. So Machlokes in the Gemara if it's kosher or not. So Rav Chisda and Rabbi Rav Huna held that it's not kosher. If it hangs down too low, it's not kosher. So the Gemara says they went to the Resh Galusa and he put them in a sukkah where the schach was hanging down low in the 4 tefachim.
the
He
decoration.
put them in a sukkah, the decorations, were hanging down low in the 4 tefachim.
So I,
And he set them in there and get them to eat. Now they have to have looked up and seen what was going on.
Right.
The question is, did the Resh Galusa do anything wrong? He put them in a sukkah, he knows that according to them, it's not a kosher
So
sukkah.
why do you do it? Why do you do
He
it?
was testing them.
point.
But the question is, was he allowed, how could he do that? Is the evil they see michshel? Right. So the Ritva, asked the kasha
they ate or
there.
not.
Huh?
Depends if they
No,
eat.
he gave them he sat them down in the sukkah and gave them food to eat. He says, "Go ahead, make a bracha, make a leisha about sukkah, and
Did
eat."
they eat or
You
not?
shouldn't have
That's
done that.
Did they
I'll have a
eat?
cup of tea.
Was he allowed to do that or not?
I don't think you shouldn't have done it. Because
See-
maybe they didn't leave because they didn't want to insult them. Them was more
It
important.
means he went to the
Maybe they were
trouble of
wrong,
lowering
but
the decorations
you know,
before they came in.
Right, it was done purposely.
Right? Yeah.
it was done purposely.
Yeah.
So the question was, he that. So the Gemara says he did it. The Resh Galusa did it. So the question, how's he allowed to do it? The evil they say michshel. So the Gemara says. Yesh Oimim, says the Ritva, the Mahash Aminon, Shalmaichel lechaverei masha muter loy, if I give my friend to eat something that's muter to me to eat it, lefi daitai, ein bezeh mishum lefi evil letzita michshel. Fa'af al pi, sheyedea bechaverei shu asa loy lefi daitai. Some people want to bring a right from this Gemara, that if I want to give someone something that I hold it's muter to eat, and I know he holds it's asa to eat, I'm allowed to give it to him. I'm not able to eat the evil to eat the michshel. I want to bring a right from this Gemara. We don't pass on this way. Take me 1 second.
Is it because it's your domain?
My kids in
Is
Israel.
it because it's your domain?
Let's see what
No,
I'm
because if
eating.
I hold it's mutter, if I hold something as mutter to eat, even though you hold it, I know you hold it tasser, I'm not able to eat the michshel. For me, it's mutter. So even if I'm making you do an
Doesn't make a
avera,
difference which domain.
Enjoy the rice.
doesn't make a difference.
Even in the case of like,
So that means you're allowed to, according to what you're saying,
No,
you're
that's
allowed to
something
bring
else.
something that's not good into my house. Because you hold is okay. Like Gebrach, let's say on Pesach, I don't keep it, I keep
Right.
Gebrach, and you bring Gebrach
I hold this
food,
kosher.
and then and you bring it into
Yeah.
my house and you could eat it.
Yeah, but you throw me out of your house.
Right, so that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's his difference is in your domain, which is
No,
your
it doesn't make
problem.
a difference.
Wow.
I don't have to tell you that this thing is also if I hold it's mutter. If I hold something as mutter, I'm not mechuyev to tell you that it's asur, even though I know you hold it's asur.
But we don't hold like this.
Oh, that's yes, I mean. Says the Ritva. Says the Ritva. The nearly says the Ritva. The hacha dafka b'fneisha iser nikol lechaveroi. Only because his friend could see it. That means he walks in the sukkah, he can look up and see this chach hanging low. Then you're allowed to do it. The Ritva is masking, if it's nikel l'chavera, you're allowed to do it.
But if you can't tell,
but if it's hiddenly, you can't tell.
Gebrach is hiddenly.
It depends. If it's knedel, it's.
That's the ball sitting in the
Right. So most of these things are hidden. So the Ritva says in a case. I want to bring it right for you. The Ritva says in a case where you can see it,
it's okay.
where you can see it's okay.
But you see in this case, they didn't leave. So opposite, they didn't leave.
They did leave. They did
leave.
Yeah.
Okay.
They did eat. They did eat. That's what they got upset. What are you doing here to me? They got upset at him. But we see from the Ritva that is it incumbent on the person who's going to say, I'm makbid on this and this, or is it incumbent on the person who's serving it? You see from the Ritva, it's not incumbent on the person who's coming and say, I have this kumrah, this kumrah, this kumrah, therefore, make sure you serve me correctly. It's incumbent on the person who's giving to eat. Now, if it's not nicker, and you know the person, if you don't know the person is makbid, then you're potter, you don't know. But if you know the person is makbid on Glat Beis Yosef, or you know he's makbid not to gebracht, whatever it is, you're mechuyev to tell him since it's not nicker. Since it's not nicker, you're mechuyev to tell him. You have to speak it out, otherwise over the evil asita michshel. So it's incumbent on the person. That means if someone comes to your house.
Otherwise, it's deception. If you can see where it's hanging, it's not deception.
It's not deception, right?
But if you're eating a piece of meat,
so if I put stuff on my table, it says put a Baal Malik on my table, and it says on it that it's not Chol V'Yisrael,
it's okay.
I don't have to ask any questions.
Yes.
It says if I serve it in a container where you can't see, but anything I serve it says on it, I have nothing to worry about. It's not my issue, even though I know the person is makbid. I just want to share with you a very interesting shach that I came across today while preparing. To me, it was a big chiddush. So now I invite over to my house somebody who only eats Glat Beis Yosef, let's say. So I can't serve it to him. I have to tell him that what I eat is not Glat Beis Yosef. For you, the meat that I'm serving is not kosher. So you won't eat it. Fine. Now, let's say I'm not serving him meat that's Glat Beis Yosef. I'm serving him something that was cooked in a pot that had in it that I once cooked in a meat that wasn't Glat Beis Yosef. So I'm serving him now bliss of something he owes us also.
How long ago was it?
Well, so that's the difference. So I have to tell him also. I have to tell him that this pot that I used has in it, according to you, non-kosher meat. The halacha is that you're not allowed to use a pot that's even an Ein Ben Yomoy. A pot with 24 hours ago was cooked in it. Isser, you're not allowed to use it, lichatchila. But the evidence, if you cooked in it, it's okay. Lichatchila, you're not allowed to use it. So I had a person who came to me Shabbos a few times. He's a Sephardi, and I would put up a cholent, but he wouldn't. I would put up something separate for him, not in the cholent pot. I would warm up food on top of the blech for him, because my kelim were all not Glat Beis Yosef. My kelim were all Ashkenaz shchita. I found out a new halacha today that I was making a mistake the whole time. Why? Because if it's a ben yoimai, I cooked in it, the blias are aser. If you have a fleshig pot, that's an ben yoimai, right? It was cooked milchiks in the pot by mistake. The halacha is the milchiks is mutter. So ein ben yoimai, no, it's not lafkam, it's mutter. It's okay. It's fine. What's the problem? L'chatchila, I'm not allowed to go ahead and cook milchiks in a pot. That's ein ben yoimai. And this is the Rabban, a gzeira. I'm not allowed to go ahead and do it, even because it's aser. That's only in such a case where it's real aser. But if I have someone coming to my house and I have a pot that's not a ben yoimai, and I use the pot to cook in it Ashkenaz, or I use the pot to cook in it Chodosh, the new, and I made lokshin in the pot and it's Chodosh, and the person comes to my house and he owes makbid and yosha. So even bliss of a pot he can't eat. It's also for him. If it's not a ben yoimai, then lichatchila I could go cook in the pot and give him to eat. Why? Because I'm not cooking just for him. I'm cooking in a ben yoimai pot. Now after it's cooked, it's a mutter for him to eat it. What's the problem? Lichatchila, you're not allowed to do it. This is not called a lichatchila. I'm not doing it for him. I'm cooking in the pot. So if you have somebody who's makbid on Glat Beis Yosef, and you have kalim that aren't Glat Beis Yosef, it's any ben yoimais, lichatchila, you can invite and make this Shabbos, put on your cholent only Glat Beis Yosef. But the kelim are not a problem.
You have one pot. Let's say
You have one pot.
It's Pesach. Somebody becomes ill.
Yeah.
You cook rice for them to get better.
Yeah.
It's permitted. Right? Okay. You wash the pot, you don't use it. Right? What's the status of it?
Okay,
2 days later.
so blias of rice could be as mutter. Blias of kidneys is a whole different thing. It's only a chumrah.
Yeah.
And the chumrah was never said on blias. That's something else.
So you could use the pot.
You could use the pot. That's all. That's
Unless the
blias.
guy needs a
That's blias of
bag.
kidney. That's blias of kidney is different.
Yeah.
But if someone comes to your house on Pesach and he's makbid not to eat certain things, you have to tell him. The same said the Mishnah. Not just that, you can't lechatchila go serve him something that has in it, even if it was cooked in the pot of the pot of ben yomoy. If it's any ben yomoy, you're okay. But if the pot of ben yomoy, you're not allowed to go ahead lechatchila and serve him unless you tell him.
If it's ben yomoy and it's clean, then we say that the kidneys is not an issue.
Right.
Same thing with the Spartak issue. If the pot is not a ben yomoy, then you have to tell him. You have to tell the guy.
If he's eating in my house, I don't have to tell him. I'm cooking not just I'm cooking in my house. I cook in my house always. I don't have to tell him. That's the chiddush I showed today in the shach. You don't have to tell him.
Because the pot is part at that point. The pot is really part.
But yeah. But I'm doing lechatchila. I'm cooking in my pot. I'm giving to this person who I know doesn't eat this meat.
You're not cooking for him.
That's why. For the community. That's why you're allowed to do it. That's a chiddush to me.
Covered Rabbi Akiva. If this guy found out afterwards that this happened, he would be sick.
Why?
No, he's allowed to eat it. I can tell him.
Absolutely not.
I'm allowed to tell him. I'm inviting you to my house. I'm making a cholent, and it's any ben yomei, and he's allowed to eat it lechatchila.
Yeah, absolutely.
If he's makbid, he has an issue. He's going to the shach.
No.
Why should he say he's allowed to eat it? He's allowed to eat it
It's the same thing with
lechatchila.
Nuchis, where it's Cholav Yisrael and you're switching between pots and it's
Same
not Cholav
thing.
Yisrael, it's Cholav Yisrael, the same thing.
Look, if you have pots that are not Chol Yisrael pots, if you have pots that aren't Chol Yisrael pots, and it's not a ben yomei, you have someone coming to your house who's makbid a Chol Yisrael, lechatchila you're allowed to cook in those pots and give him to eat. Lechatchila.
We do with our kids. Ones that are Cholav
I don't like to see
Yisrael.
our holes like
That's exactly what we do. And then we'll tell
Exactly what?
We bought Cholav Yisrael for you especially.
Okay, that's the shach. Yeah, that's the shach.
I don't think so. Because we have an issue like that, and he.
I like to know. I like to know if it's here or hold that way.